Welcome back to the Change Driven Podcast. This is Colton here, and this is my producer slash co-host, Kieran. How's it going?
How's it going, everybody? Welcome to episode number 4.
Dude. That's crazy.
That's crazy. How's it going, man?
Good. We had some gnarly racing
Good,
at
good.
Hangtown this weekend. I'm excited to get into it. But other than that, how's your day?
Yeah, it's going all right. Just been working, man. You been able to get on the bike recently?
Yeah, I got on it last weekend. This coming weekend is a Washougal Norks race, so pretty stoked for that. I'm excited to see how the conditions are. There's free practice on Saturday, and then they got the race on Sunday. So we actually got information today that it could be postponed because of how gnarly it is there right now. It is absolutely swamped, so much mud. So I've been
Well,
watching
it's
the
been
Verb
raining there
Moto.
for
Go ahead.
it's been raining there for quite a while, right?
Yeah, it's been raining there for like the last 2 weeks. So my buddy Wyatt Creighton, he went and did a regional there 2 weekends ago now. And I guess the practice days, like all day, what was it? He raced Saturday and Sunday, so I think all day Friday, the practice day, was like good conditions. It was like it was wet, but it wasn't like bogging your bike full throttle through like walking your bike through the mud like stuff. There was just ruts
Yeah.
and you could still ride and everything. But then came Saturday and it rained overnight and just catastrophe, dude. It was so muddy. It was pretty cool that there were some big names there. There's Verb Moto, the YouTube channel. They were there, and they made a pretty sweet video. It's a really short video, but it's pretty sweet, and you can go check it out at Verb Moto on YouTube. But they made a cool video on how hard and how much work and dedication it takes to keep going on a racetrack like that, and to want it so bad to get tickets to go to Loretta's. They are out there blowing bikes up left and right. You are risking everything. You're risking all of your mom and dad's money on this motor that you got under your legs, under your butt, to get a ticket to go all the way across the country to this race that could get you, a little bit farther in your career. And it's pretty impressive to see all these families and these kids out there, risking it all, taking every, second to of effort. I guess what I'm trying to say is all this effort goes into this program, to what they're doing. And to see, like, in the video, there's a kid out there on a little 60, or it was like an 85, and he's standing over his bike in a rut, and he's like slapping it, and it's smoking and it's blown, and he's so upset. He's got his goggles off, his face is covered in mud, and it's just heartbreaking because he's not getting a ticket. He's not going to Loretta's like yet. He obviously can go somewhere else in the country and go qualify for Loretta's, but it's an insane amount of money to go do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I was listening to the Pulp MX podcast, and Chris Kiefer is on there, and him and his son do racing, and they're pretty big into it and everything. And the race entry fee only was like $1,100 to race a regional.
Wow.
This wasn't even at Loretta's or anything yet. This is a regional to get there. $1,100 for a race entry. So I think I did 3 different classes. And when you spend that amount of money on race entries alone, that doesn't include fuel to get there, fuel for the bikes, bike maintenance, motors, chain, sprockets, anything that you do to that bike. It better be going, and it better be good, because that's your chance. And it's pretty insane how that works. So I kind of lost track of where I was going with
Yeah.
this, but yeah, it's pretty cool
That's crazy. I mean,
I was talking about the Norks races, but to see if they cancel it and postpone it, we'll see. But I'm kind of down for a mutter.
I don't know, like If you're in Washington, you're bound to do a mutter eventually.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
that's just part of being in the state.
Yeah,
Well, that's crazy. I mean, there's a lot of people that dump a lot of money. I mean, a friend Wyatt's got always has 3, 4, 5 bikes or whatever, just because if you're racing at that level and you're trying to go somewhere, you need that support because if something happens, you need another bike that's ready to go.
yeah,
And that's a lot of money. And a lot of it's he's very fortunate to have that support where a lot of families or a lot of guys that are trying to go out there and do that same thing that are don't have that family support, come from normal people, not people with
yeah,
money,
hmm,
out there with one bike and fucking blow it up on a mutter, like you're screwed. You ain't got
yeah,
a lot of these guys ain't got money to fix all that, plus your $1,100 fee and then fuel and hotels, and it adds up. It's insane.
yeah.
But
Yeah, if you ever want a good example of it, go watch Ryan Villapoto movies, the RV2 and Ryan Villapoto documentaries. It goes into detail a lot, but his dad would build houses. They'd travel around the country in their motorhome, and they'd stop somewhere for like a year, like 11, 10 months or whatever it was, and then he'd build a house and then sell it, and that would get them to the next spot, the next race. And it's pretty insane when families go through that amount of dedication to where they have sold their house, they're living in a motorhome, they're traveling the country, they don't work, they're spending every dime to get your kid's bike on the track so this kid can race, and he's only 13, 14 years old, and he's making all the money for the
yeah,
family. He's the breadwinner. So
and nothing's
nowadays it's not
guaranteed.
too much like that because there's just so much support around minis nowadays and younger kids.
Sponsors.
Yeah, sponsors, but it still is very much like that for a lot of families. So it'll be cool to see how far Wyatt gets in this, and I'm excited for him and that he got his ticket, and then he went down to California, go practice again with AEO Power Sports KTM team. He's just practicing with them down there, and he got another ticket down there, so I'm pretty excited. I think my family's actually going to go to Loretta's this year to go cheer him on, which unfortunately I can't
Really?
because I got to work, but it'd be pretty cool to go.
Mm, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I don't know how they do it. I can't even afford a dirt bike, and I can't even afford to fix my other dirt bike. So
I know.
it's crazy.
It's ridiculous. Now that I have a kid, and he literally just turned 4 months today, his name's Weston, and all I can think about is like, oh, his moto program. We're just gonna be doing all this stuff, and it's gonna be so much fun. We can go to all races together and travel, and like, yeah, but how are you gonna fund this? How are we gonna? How are we
Well,
gonna? How am I gonna
not
do
only the
that when I'm working
funding.
68 hours a week? You know,
Yeah.
so it's
Well, it's
all
not
the
even just
dreams.
the funding.
Yeah,
I mean,
the want,
eventually
the
you're gonna have
will, the
other
heart.
kids too.
Yeah, exactly. It's not just the one kid's deal. It'll be all
I
the
mean, you can't
kids.
just be like, "Oh, screw you, other kids. We're just gonna focus on the one kid's passion."
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of
That
families
just
do
don't work
that.
out
That's
like that.
why
But
some families succeed, but it's not a healthy way of life, and so. But anyway, I'd like to get into a little motocross. How about you feel about that?
yeah, let's talk about a little bit of motocross.
So, first off, Faulkner is out with a shoulder injury again. He
Again,
cannot stay on the bike, dude. I feel so bad for that guy. He's totally missed this last Supercross season with that collide in the air with Jet Lawrence. Broke his collarbone.
that was a gnarly crash.
It was
That was a very bad
gnarly. It
crash.
was just the biggest, like 100-foot double straight to the ground. Just yeah, it looked horrible. If you haven't seen it, go look it up. But it was pretty gnarly. So I'm sure that stayed with him for a while. He didn't race any of the Supercross season, so I'm sure he was pretty healed up. But they haven't said anything about what type of injury it was. All they said was a shoulder injury. But I'm kind of hurting for Faulkner right now. He is an amazing rider, but I don't think he's finished a
Can't
season in 4 years.
he can't stay on a bike.
He can't. I mean, he hasn't been
I
able to
mean,
finish a season since he was on Super Minis. Or
I think that's his thing, though. I think he's just so amped up to get back on a bike and just race and try to prove he's fast every single time. It ends up fucking him over. I mean, last Supercross season, he was doing good, and even the announcers were saying like, this kid's got to be play it safe. He's gonna wreck again. Sure enough, he did, and he really
yeah,
messed himself up pretty good.
yeah, it's
But
really unfortunate because I love his style of riding. He's a really good rider. There's been some drama with him in the last few years, just with girlfriends and bullshit like that. But I love that he's out there, and I love that he's trying really hard. He's a top contender. I mean, when he was racing, he was top three. You know, he got a first in a heat. I think he had a main event win. I can't remember exactly if he did or not, but he's pretty freaking fast. He's a good rider. So, um, but anyway, he he's I think Pro Circuit is looking at other options, and I don't think that he's going to be there that much longer. He's going to end up like Carson Mumford and get booted to Twisted Tea Suzuki and get on a super shitty bike. But I mean, he's got the skill, so anywhere he goes, I think he can progress. Hopefully, because he's super talented. He literally, I mean, Sexton. He went. What did Sexton get this weekend? I can't remember.
Sexton
He got
got,
second, right? Two,
let's
two,
see, he
two.
got second overall. He got
Yeah.
2-2 on both
So
motos.
Sexton is in the 450 class. He has won Fox Raceway this year. He won. I don't know if he got a win in Supercross. I think he did, but he won Fox.
I'm pretty sure he did.
He's second in at Hangtown, and Faulkner used to destroy Sexton on the track when they both rode 250s together. When they both rode kids stuff, when they both rode super minis, when they both rode 125s, when they were on 250A class, amateurs and stuff, Faulkner would put Sexton in the dust, and it has totally flip flopped, which is, it's the way of life, but it is what it is. So, anyway, that's good for Sexton. Sucks for Faulkner. He's definitely hitting the panic button, as Steve Mathis would say. But they're freaking out over there. He can't stay on the bike. He can't finish races. He can't produce for the team. So um, I hope he might. I think he has one more year on his contract. I'm not sure if that ends this year, like if it ended after this um, motocross season, or if it's still through Supercross. I'm not sure, but when his contract does end, I really don't think that Pro Circuit's going to take him back on. I I think he's
Yeah,
at
I
this
don't think
point
so
like a
either.
lost cause, and it really sucks because I don't think of him as a lost cause. But that team has spent millions on him, and he hasn't finished a season in like I want to say like 3 years. So really sucks, but is what it is.
Yeah.
How about your boy Jason Anderson, dude? Can you
Jay
believe it?
Andy, he got first place. I did not expect that. I don't remember. I think I put him as like fourth place for Hangtown here, but he got
You
first
put him as
in
fourth,
Moto
yeah.
1 and third in Moto 2 with
Yeah.
a top one spot for overall for the race.
Yeah, so if you go onto his
Which,
Instagram, I think if you didn't see it or anything, he didn't know he won. And so he was coming through, and the flagger directed him towards the stage and everything, and everybody was cheering for him, and his pit board said, you got it, and stuff. And he was like, did I win? And the guy's like, yeah, you won. And he had no idea. So it was really funny to see that because it was really like what place uh Tomac won the second one, but I think it was what place Sexton got, and and it just depended. Like all the math was pretty messed up. I don't think anybody knew who won at that point. It was like under official rule and everything because it was so backwards. But
Yeah.
they figured it out on like that last lap, and so they were all excited and everything. And then he found out, and he was super stoked. But this is his first 450 overall win in an outdoors ever.
Yeah.
It's been a long time,
Fucking
and it's good
Anderson,
for him.
man, he's swapped to that Kawasaki, Tomac swapped to that Yamaha, and he thinks it's the best. But Anderson swapped from Husky over to Kawasaki, and he's been putting in work. I mean, he did an
Yeah,
amazing Supercross season this last year, and
amazing.
he's showing
7
up for
wins, so good.
outdoors. Yeah, so good. And he's showing up for outdoors, man. Him and Sexton. Um, Another one we saw come up for this race is Tomac. Tomac got third. He got fourth in the first moto, first in the second moto. I honestly didn't think he would have placed that well with his injury. Apparently, he is still injured. Um,
Yeah, but
but he did pretty good this
he's
weekend
coming
too.
back, dude. He's getting back in the groove. He's feeling better. He probably took some time off this week, but I know that he's gonna kick some ass this year, dude. He's excited to be on that absolute barker of a machine, dude. I love that Yamaha, and it's just preferability, and the whole reason Tomac left Kawasaki is because Kawasaki wasn't willing to risk it and test the
Yeah.
kinds of parts and the kinds of opportunities that Eli wanted. And Eli and his dad ultimately made a decision to move to Yamaha, even though he was getting paid less. Yamaha was willing to make all of those decisions and those hard decisions and those
Changes.
testing
Yeah.
changes and everything like that. And it definitely paid off for the both of them. Eli with a Supercross title win, and Jason Anderson with 7 wins this season in Supercross. They both came out
Yeah.
on top of those deals,
I
and
mean,
it's crazy how
both
those
Yamaha and Kawasaki got to be so happy
I
from
know,
that season.
and it's crazy how different mentalities gel with different teams and the different bikes and stuff. Like, who would have knew Jason Anderson would be so good on this Cowie? Nobody. I don't think anybody
Yeah.
expected him to come into this season and absolutely dominate. So
Mm-hmm.
I think it was really cool. I think it was really skeptical with both of them. With both of them on new bikes, no one knew how good one or the other was, and obviously that Yamaha was an absolute beast. But that Kawasaki
Yeah.
actually pulled through, and I think that first year for both of them was a good test run and a good test try. And I think with Jason Anderson going out on that one race where he hit the ground really hard and kind of like knocked himself out practically, it didn't look
Mm-hmm.
like he did, but because he got up immediately. But when he started to go through that next rhythm section and just fell over, like he wasn't there at
Yeah.
all, was really like concerning and everything. And he didn't end up finishing the race. Imagine if he finished that race, their title contention would have been on strings up until the last main. It would have been
Yeah.
back and forth. So if he can stay on the bike and if they can battle all through next season, it's going to be super, super close. I think with the next title season.
Um, I agree with you. Anderson definitely showed a little more like, hey, I'm not used to this bike, especially in the beginning of the season
Yeah.
compared to Tomac. Tomac just looked great on his bike. I mean, he had a few issues with the bike. I think he had a clutch problem and a
Uh
cooling
huh.
problem in like the second race.
Yeah. So did
And
Eli
there's
though.
a few
Eli had that cooling
races.
problem.
Oh, that's true. But he had a few races where he had a few good little crashes. Or I know in Phoenix, he had a pretty good one where he just decided it. I think he hit a rut wrong or something and just bounced right off of this. I think he was going off like a triple and just shot off the side of the course right into a tough block. I
Hmm.
mean, it had a rough little hiccups here and there, but I mean, for being brand new to that bike and being that first season on that bike, he fucking did amazing.
Yeah,
I don't think you
they
could ask
both did
anything
really
more from him
phenomenal.
for that season.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting this next season with people put back in their place. They have more experience on the new teams. I'm really interested to see what these new teams are going to produce because I think there's going to be a lot of changes this next season. I don't think there's going to be any like big name changes, but there's going to be a few small name changes. So, like Dean
Yeah.
Wilson, I don't think he's staying with Husky, and I think um, I can't remember who else I was going to think about, but they're going to move around some guys, and I think Mookie is going to definitely be on a next level next year with working with Alden, and I
Hmm.
think he's going to get his first win in his career. And I think Roxon coming back, he's been on fire in outdoors. So I think if he stays healthy and carries that into Supercross, I think he can really be up there with them too. And same with Cooper Webb, same with Aaron Plessinger, same with Muscan. I don't know if Muscan's racing another year, but Craig's on 450s now, and so it's gonna be a battle.
Yeah, I mean, it's very, especially for this outdoor season, you got a lot of really good top riders out there. Christian Craig putting in work came fifth place overall for Hangtown. He got fifth both motos, um, right behind Ken Roxon. I mean, it's pretty cool to see a 250 rider jump up to 450s and be at the top. He's sitting pretty good. It's
Mm-hmm.
pretty cool to see. He's fast, man. I love
What
watching him
did
race.
Caroli get?
Caroli got sixth place. He placed
Yeah,
seven in
so
Moto 1 and six in Moto 2.
yeah, so he did really
And then
good.
Dungy followed behind in seventh place.
Mm-hmm. But that whip on that whole shot in the second moto was crazy. He actually
Oh, yeah.
he was flying around that first corner, and then he hit that next jump, and he was like a good 2 or 3 bike lengths in front of everybody, and he threw the gnarliest whip over that jump. It was a super cool picture I saw. But that guy's good, and I don't think he's gonna race much longer though. I think he's only gonna do the next. I think he committed to 4 rounds, so these next two, I think he'll do, but I don't think he's gonna continue.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway,
Let's
dude,
talk
did you
about
see?
250s, man.
Oh, did you see Josh Gilbert's crash, dude?
Yeah, and he
So
ragdolled pretty
gnarly.
good.
So gnarly. Go check it out if you haven't. It's on Vital MX. If you just look up Vital MX on YouTube, and Josh Gilbert's crash is like right there close to the top. Just posted a couple days ago or yesterday, I think. But he came down off a step down so hard, just swapped it sideways, went flying off the track, and then hit a steel uh, pole in the ground. He hit a steel, one of the just those fence posts that was sticking out of the ground, and he hit that thing, and that thing didn't move. He just his
Yeah.
head bounced off of
it
it, his shoulder bounced off it, and absolutely ragdolled. It was so bad.
was gnarly.
It looked like it hurt a lot. Anyway, 250s. My boy
We got the
Levi.
Lawrence brothers.
Oh yeah, we can talk about
Oh,
the
yeah.
Lawrence
Levi
brothers, I
Kitchen.
guess. But um, Jet Lawrence with the 3-1 for the first overall. I honestly think if he can stay healthy, that this guy might win out. That's a really far. Like I know we're only two races in, but that guy on a dirt bike is unbelievable, unbelievable. So
Yeah. I
if
think
he
Hunter Lawrence came in
second,
third this
oh
weekend
third,
with no, he came in third. We had Justin Cooper for second.
oh
Uh,
yeah, yeah,
saw a little bit of he wasn't feeling too well, so I think that might have made him a little bit slower. Instead of second place, he
yeah.
got third place.
He posted on his Instagram that he had a flu. Him, Jet, and Hunter. And I don't think Hunter's looked too bad. Hunter wasn't complaining about it too much, but Jet was actually throwing up like in the pits. Like people got pictures of him throwing up in the pits. He looked miserable. and they were taking pictures of him like after the race, and he just looked like he was dying. He was like keeled over, the worst looking faces, just mud all over his face. Like he looked pretty brutal, but that heart in that kid to come out on top of the Moto 2 while he felt like that is really impressive. Super
Yeah, that's
impressive.
crazy.
But
We got Joe Shimoda came in fourth place. He was doing pretty good out there.
I'm stoked for Joe. I mean, I thought he was just going to be one of those
He had a
guys that kind of
rough.
hang back like Max Voland and the Gas
Yeah,
Boys and everything like that, but he's actually putting up a good fight.
I mean, he had a rough Supercross season. I think he had
Yeah,
enough time to heal up and
yeah.
just showing up. You want to get in the Levi kitchen?
Hell yeah, dude. My boy Levi
Sixth
goes 6 for
place.
6. 6th place
6 for
overall.
6. Moto 1 and 2.
Yeah,
Pretty
so
steady.
yeah, and he also in his first moto he went from 16th to 6th, and then in his second moto he went to 13th to 6th, which is crazy because it's super hard to do, especially passing factory guys like he was on Max Volan, and um, shoot, who else? I think Jalik Swole he passed up, and Romano he passed up Romano, his teammate, and so which is crazy because Romano was getting the good starts. He's a rookie this year and he was doing really good, um, but Levi coming in clutch. He needs to figure out his start game though. He's gotten terrible starts both these last races. So I was listening to him on Pulp MX yesterday, and he's been talking about all the different things they're going to try out for his starts, but they need to step it up. They're going to change some ECU stuff, which is super cool. I mean, Yamaha's got these setups where they can set up a red line in the ECU for starts. So if like your whole shot device is set and everything, it reads to where you're at a start and it sits at a certain RPM, and that's your start RPM and stuff. And they're all different. All the guys, Ramona, Cooper, or not, yeah, Cooper, and Levi and uh, March Banks and all that. But um, it's pretty cool all the technology they've put into these start devices and everything like that. But if he can set up his start game, dude, I think he can be up top 5 easy if he really wants to.
Yeah, definitely.
Super stoked for him
That's
though,
crazy.
being
I
a
was
local
reading
kid.
into. Oh yeah, I was reading into the new Kawasaki's a little bit more, um, and found out that they now supply a scanner, a ECU scanner for the new Kawasaki's that makes it to where your fuel, air, and like all your mapping is all completely adjustable and tunable um, by yourself. Like you can do it yourself if you buy the scanner from them, which is pretty cool that they supply that to people that aren't factory racers,
Yeah,
like some good old boys at the track, but they want a little more power, or the bike's not running right. They're going be able to go in there and tune it a little bit to how they want it. And yeah, apparently there's a lot of different stuff you can do, and you can set up different maps for, like, let's say you're going to go to Hangtown and you want this certain map, and you've already like made it good, like practicing there or whatnot. Then you can save that map tune and then apply it to the bike when you're ready to go race there again. It's
yeah.
pretty cool.
Say you want to go to
Uh,
China Hat, you
yeah,
want that torque in the sand around those turns
yeah.
and all those berms and everything. That would be so awesome. Because we ride in so many
Mhm.
versatile places. Like I ride up here in the tight woods, in the snow, in the mud, cold. And then I like last year I drove my dirt bike down to Arizona with you. We rode in the desert, hot, sandy stuff. And those kind of things coming out with those new bikes is gonna be pretty necessary because of all these new ECU stuff, all these fuel injected stuff, all these different things that are making the bike so like needy, so
Yeah.
touchy and everything. Like if you mess with anything, it's gonna mess the whole thing up and everything. But if you can make it an outline for these maps that are gonna be healthy for the bike, that you know you don't go out of standards for the motor or anything like that, it doesn't let you. But
Hmm.
it'd be pretty sweet, and I think this new generation of dirt bikes is going to be pretty cool to where we can actually like not even customize the outside and the internals and everything, but we can actually customize how this thing delivers power and how it like actually
Definitely.
thinks about itself being an ECU, you know. But that'd be pretty sweet, dude. That's pretty cool. I didn't know Kawasaki would be like the first one to come out with that kind of stuff. But maybe
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah,
you
it was
can
very
do it
cool.
otherwise other than so like, you know, I don't know who else. I haven't heard anybody else that has come with that first, but that kind of consumer,
Yeah.
um, that kind of consumer customization is super smart because people want to be able to do the
Oh
things
yeah.
like that. People want to go buy a bike and then go race really competitively, like in the stuff that I do, like the Norks racing. It's pretty serious stuff, and these guys aren't helped out a lot. They have a few gear sponsors and a few like little sponsors here and there just by local people, but they don't have, you know, access to your factory bike, and they don't have access to these amazing parts and everything that, you know, factories represent and everything. So the fact that Kawasaki is giving people the option to mess with their own, you know, ECUs and their own tunes is pretty badass.
Yeah, that's very cool. I'd like to read more up into it, but I mean, it'd be and like eventually I'm gonna buy probably a 2023 Kawasaki, so it'd be very cool to see what is tunable on it, what's adjustable. I mean, you could do a lot with the ECU tuner, um, especially having like I have a little bit of tuning background, so the I mean, just the ability to be able to do that instead of having to go like to KTM and pay a shit ton of money and be like, "Hey, my bike's not running right." And just plug in the scanner and read what the hell's going on. But
Yeah,
that's
that's
very
cool.
cool. It's very exciting to see. You know, you see all this stuff. It's been in cars for a long ass time. Everything computer, electronically controlled, computer controlled. It's very cool with the EFI now going into bikes too. Um, it's very cool, but there is downfalls with this kind of stuff too, and there's problems that possibly could arise that could be very expensive. I mean, just the uh, just the other day, I was working on a truck. For everyone that doesn't know, I'm a diesel mechanic, and I was working on a truck the other day. It had a blinker go out, front left blinker, and you're like, oh, it's just an easy fix, you know. Well, it ended up being that the engine ECM or the BCM that controls the lights was messed up inside the computer and was putting out like 1 volt to this turn signal, and
No way.
it needs 12 volts to be able to light up. So I went to my boss and I'm like, "Hey, this is a $5,000 computer for a blinker. Like, we got to do it. It's a DOT, you know." So
Yeah.
there's little things like that. Stupid little blinker. It costs you the whole entire computer, or
Holy
like
cow.
something small, like all my injection or my EFI is not working correctly. Fuck, brand new computer. It could be simple things, and a lot of those things are having computers that implement so many different things. It's definitely going to be less with a motorcycle. I mean, you have air, you have your fuel, combustion, like your spark and all that. So it's definitely a lot less than a car because you don't have all the extra bullshit going on in the computer. But there is when you have start adding things, things can go wrong, and it'll be very interesting to see how it all works out and how uh how tunable this system will be. Well, I guess we'll see in the near future how that goes.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see where it ends up in a few years because I plan on getting a 2023 YZ250 FX as well, and I'm excited for it. I mean, any way that you can make your bike better is any way that is, better for the dealership, better for the customer, better for whoever. No matter if you want your bike to put around your backyard or you want to try to go to Loretta's, it's a very really cool thing to have possession of. So it's going to be
Yeah.
cool to see where it goes with it. It's going to be pretty crazy. I mean, dealerships and brands get to this point mechanically where they can put out the best stuff that they have ever made, and they are testing and testing and trying all these different new things and parts, and nothing seems to be making the bike that much better. And because they've peaked so much on types of like
Yeah.
materials to use and parts and how strong and durable these bikes are and everything. I mean, other than Suzuki, but still, it'll it's gonna it's gonna be cool to see where these brands go with, electrical side and ECU side and power delivery and all these different ways you can customize your bike in that aspect. So yeah, it'll be freaking cool.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, all these manufacturers, for the most part, are especially engine wise, they're like, what more can we do? I mean, these bikes are already so powerful. They're at the limits of what their class is at, pretty much. So it's just changing up little tiny things every single year, and it's kind of cool to see some of these companies do big changes. Um, like Kawasaki is doing to their bikes. But it's hard. I mean, a lot of companies are like, we have, like, I mean, Yamaha, they change little things here and there, but they're like, we got a top dog bike. It fucking works and it runs. Like, what else do we got to change? So, I mean, some
Yeah.
companies will do like minor plastic changes and whatnot, but it'll be interesting.
Yeah. So speaking of Suzuki's 2023 RMZ 250 and 450, I've been told, I have seen on social media. I haven't really looked up for myself. I know you've got the stats pulled up right now, but I've been
Yep.
told and seen that there has literally been zero changes to this bike. Is that true?
The bike looks like it was made in 2011. Um, it looks like a supercross bike that James Stewart rode last. Um, this thing looks like a pile of shit. I mean, nothing's
It
been
literally
changed.
does too.
I
Like it
mean,
literally does. It looks like the last bike James Stewart rode, and that was like 6, 7 years
like
ago.
the
It's
brakes look like
hilarious.
they're from a 50cc KTM. Um, the exhaust looks like a blast pipe off a car. I don't know. I mean, the plastics, they look the same. Tank's the same. I don't think, like, there's nothing different visually that I'm seeing here. Um, Even like the front plate makes it look like it's like a RMZ like 125. It doesn't look, it don't look good. Um, and it's not a top bike anymore. I mean, nobody's riding Suzuki, and well, you got Bogle. Is that the only guy riding a
Yeah,
Suzuki?
and Adam Ectignap
I mean,
and um, it's not Tyler. Is it Tyler Masterpool? No, it's not Tyler Masterpool. It's Heart Raft.
mm,
So those
yeah,
three
this thing
guys
looks like
are
a
on the
pile of
Twisted Tea Suzukis, but still, I mean, they're getting paid to
yeah,
just. I don't think they're really getting Suzuki support though. They're just cheap bikes. So and they
yeah.
match the
But
color of Twisted Tea. So
I love Twisted Tea, but this bike looks like a big old bag of dicks. I got to tell you.
yeah,
Um, they got strong, usable engine performance. Let's see what they got to say. They say they got great throttle response, delivers high peak power. Yeah, tell that to the Yamaha. Evolved
Yeah.
traction management system helps a bike hook up. Suzuki whole shot assist control gets you out front. I mean, every fucking bike has this. It's nothing new. It's been out for years. They have no cutting edge technology.
They still
Um,
got a stupid Kickstarter on the damn thing.
yep, they do.
They didn't
They
do
got a
anything
fucking
with it.
kickstart on a 2023 and they want $9,000 for it.
Really? 9 grand?
They want 9K for a base RMZ 450 2023 model. You can go buy a 2011 RMZ 450 and get the same bike for $2,000 probably.
Holy cow, I'd rather go buy a Yamaha. It's like around the same price. Maybe pay
Yeah,
500
a,
bucks more.
a Yamaha, a Kawasaki, the same
Kawasaki's probably the
exact
same
price.
exact price.
A Honda. I
Wow.
mean,
There
it's
must be some
ridiculous.
diehard Suzuki fans out there for them to stay afloat or just even keep building bikes, dude. It blows my mind.
I don't know. I mean, they got their road market, but that's all
Yeah,
they
I mean,
got for
yeah,
motorcycles is those two bikes. They're dirt
that's
bikes.
ridiculous.
Yeah,
Wow.
they
So they have no changes up on that website, huh?
no, not really. I
Nothing.
mean,
What's new feature? No, like brand new, all new. Nothing, none of that.
they have no new features. They have let's see, additional features. Oh no, that's if you want to buy one. Yeah, they want $200 a month for that bike. You finance.
Not
Engine, we
bad.
got a 449cc 4-stroke liquid cooled single cylinder dual overhead cam. Compression ratio 12.5-1. They got a 44 millimeter throttle body. Kickstarter.
I wonder if we compare this to Yamaha and see the difference. You know?
They have a semi dry sump for lubrication. I mean,
Really?
5 speed. Um, I think they're still running an aluminum frame.
Is it aluminum?
They're all,
I thought it was steel.
maybe it's still. Um, they have electronic injection. That's the only thing electronic on this bike. In their electrical system, they have their ignition, so like the EFI, and then the second thing is spark plug. And yeah, I mean, nothing new that I could tell. Looks like the same
Really?
old fucking bike James Stewart used to ride and crash. I mean, if you want a bike, it's a bike, but I mean, for $9,000, you could buy Kawasaki, Honda, I'm pretty sure, and a Yamaha for that much. Can't buy a KTM for that much, but you have three other factory bikes that smoke this in every category,
Yeah.
and they want just as much for it.
That's pretty crazy.
They have a special edition that comes with a Yoshimura aluminum muffler
Oh,
and
really?
graphics.
Graphics in
Yeah,
a
big
Yoshimura.
upgrades there.
Is that like $10,000 for an $800
Um,
pipe and
I
some
don't know if they have
cheap
a price
$35
on that.
graphics? Probably.
Probably they probably want another $1,000 for that. Probably even more. Yoshimura is not
Ridiculous.
cheap. They don't have a price on it.
No, it is not cheap. You're right.
But yeah, so if you're looking to get a brand new polished turd, go head over to Suzuki.com and pick you up a new RMZ 250 and 450. Not sponsored by Suzuki.
Yeah, it's crazy how
I
many
love that bike,
guys.
man. I think I'm gonna buy one.
Yeah, you should.
Oh yeah,
I mean, it's in your
I
budget,
should.
right? Like 9 grand just to drop on a polished shirt.
Oh, I mean, I have $30,000 in tools that are yeah. I think I'm gonna start an OnlyFans to just buy every model of bike and just see what's top dog.
I know. I mean, Vital MX does it for you every year, so you don't even have to.
Oh, that's true, but I want to experience it myself. I mean, I'd
Yeah,
love to sell
yeah.
my body online to buy myself a brand new 450 RM. I mean, okay, I got the new Yamaha up here. They want
I wasn't able to get
for
it. Oh,
their Monster Energy edition, which has got just a bunch of bullshit on it. They want it looks like $700 more. So they want 9,700.
that's crazy. That's the factory edition technically. So what's the normal one?
I'd probably say 95. I don't have the normal one pulled up here. Um they have compact and cutting edge fuel injected engine. Uh High compression cylinder head, forged piston, aggressive cam profiles. So that's pretty cool. They have a power tuner app. Yamaha's industry leading power tuner app puts the flexibility and precision tunability of the GYTR power tuner in your smartphone.
Yeah, that's
Make
pretty
fueling
cool.
and injection timing changes instantaneously and upload them to your bike for ultimate trackside tuning. Best of all, it's free of charge. That's fucking cool. I mean,
Yeah,
with
it
the
is.
Kawasaki, you have to buy the scanner, but Yamaha is like, fuck you, we're giving it to you for free on your phone.
That's pretty
Unless
sick.
you're in some place that you don't got fucking Wi-Fi, then your bike's gonna run like shit. You got to do it ahead of time. But
Maybe.
they got
Yeah.
the aluminum frame, um, class leading suspension by KYB, um, optimized suspension tuning. Let's see here. High
You wanna
performance
know something cool
brakes.
about the Suzukis? Is that Suzuki was like
What's that?
the first bike brand to come out with fuel injected bikes.
Really? It's
Yeah.
funny that they're the
It's
last to put
Chad
a
Reed.
fucking starter on their bike.
Yeah. It was Chad Reed. That was like one of the main reasons that he went onto the Suzuki team. It was a Discount Tires Suzuki team is because they came out with a fuel injected bike and it was really good at the time. So that's
Mm-hmm.
crazy. And now
That
they
is
don't do
crazy.
shit.
I don't know.
You have
I mean,
uh the normal Yamahas up or just that one?
no, I couldn't find it. But that is cool as hell that they give you that app for free where it's tunable because I'm looking at the KX handheld device here. It is $773
Oh
for this
wow.
device.
That's a
So
lot.
that is almost an extra $1,000 to be able to tune your bike. Um, well, let's read a little bit about it. Calibration kit features a handheld KXFI calibration controller, which enables a rider to adjust engine characteristics by rewriting actual data maps to suit their performance. You use without a PC. Um, simply plug in to the KXFI calibration controller into the engine's ECU. Uh, built-in color LCD screen, SD card compatible. Uh, for data transfer of maps between controller and PC. 7 preset settings for easy ECU adjustment to suit track conditions. You got ECU maps for fuel injection, volume, and injection timing based on throttle position and RPM.
Yeah, so
KXFI
I think
calibration
this thing
controller.
that Kawasaki's trying to do might be, I mean, it's another 700 some bucks for it, but in
Yeah.
the long run, it might end up being a little easier because they give you maps and they give you these ways of adjusting and everything, and maybe they give you preferred maps for different terrains and everything. But the Yamaha one might just be like, yeah, do whatever you want. So it might be a little bit more, like even though you have to
Yeah.
spend all that money, it might be like easier to handle. Maybe I don't know.
That's true. And I mean, it was saying that you could transfer SD cards to your computer, so I'm sure that they have an app uh, or a website that you can actually go take your chip home and
Okay.
fully do it on your computer and really get into the tuning there, which would be
Yeah.
very cool. I don't know, man.
Yeah, so
Kawasaki.
the 2023 CRF 450R MSRP is 95.99.
Okay.
That's
When
you
did
want
bikes start getting
spend
so damn
$600 more.
expensive, bro?
I know, right? It's insane.
I
But
remember the Honda used
still,
to be 6,000.
yeah, I know, right? But still, Hondas, they're on the top of the box every weekend in motocross, and they were on the top of the box a few times in Supercross. So why would you go buy a Suzuki when you could go buy a CRF for 500, 600 bucks more and
Yeah.
get a 10 times better bike?
I got the Kawasaki up. Kawasaki wants for the 2023 KX450, they want 9,600 bucks. And for
Yeah,
the
same thing.
450 SR, which is their like factory edition, they want 12,400 for that one.
And you don't even
But
want to
the
know what
SR comes with a whole
KTMs
bunch of
are
shit
going
on top
for.
of it.
So I was
I don't even want to know.
I was looking into the KTM, the 22, um which one was it? It was a special edition by um one of their off-road guys. Why can't I remember his name? It's annoying. But the bike out the door for a 22 350 XCF was 13.5.
Jeez.
Yeah. So I was like, yeah, maybe not. I mean, for a base model
13.5.
MSRP 450 SXF is 11.7. So you're gonna
That's
have
just a
some,
lot, especially for your average consumer.
yeah. But people buy them up, dude. There's so many.
I mean,
But the
I
thing
get it.
is, the amount of like precision and amount of stuff that they give me on this website that I'm looking at right now is insane. They give you
Yeah.
so much specs and so much information, and they give you a lot of versatile stuff too. They send you with tools. They have the air forks. They have all these different things that make this bike that much better.
Hmm. I don't know. I mean, it definitely makes a difference when you're going out to look and buy a trail bike, or something more for the desert or something like that. KTM is definitely one of the leaders in the off road racing and just like normal guys that like to go have some fun times in the woods on some single track or whatnot. Because those bikes do perform outrageously well out there. But I mean, for average consumer, just for motocross, um, maybe people won't look very much into KTM because of the price. But I mean, there is people out there definitely. KTM still is amazing in motocross, but there is cheaper options. But like you were saying, is you get all that shit on top. So if you have the money, you might as well.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible, but it also is
Yeah.
way too much money. So
But none of these other companies are doing their off road bikes like KTM. I mean,
yeah, that's
Kawasaki's
true.
got their new 450 and 250X. The only difference between the X and the R are a different size rear tire, I think a different sprocket,
I
and
think they
a
have a
different
different
flywheel.
transmission too.
That's it. Oh
Do
wait,
they
maybe
not
they
have a
do have a
different
different
transmission?
they might have a 6-speed. I'm not 100%
Yeah,
sure. Let me check.
because I'm pretty
But
sure that that's like one of the big features why it might be a little bit more expensive, but still, I mean, still a
well,
good
the
price for that kind of bike.
KX450X is $100 more than the race version, and they weigh damn near the same. I picked both of these bikes up, and they're identical. They are so identical. These two bikes. The only difference is that rear tire, like to the eyes, is that rear tire, um,
Yeah,
which is crazy. But I don't know, man. You ready to wrap this one up?
yeah. Go ahead.
Talk some good shit about Suzuki today. I think that's good enough.
Yeah,
All
they
right,
deserve
guys.
it for
Thank
now, but
y'all.
hopefully they can turn things around.
Yeah, I will see. They
So,
may fucking just stop making bikes here pretty soon. I guess we'll see.
yeah, yeah.
But all right, y'all.
Hopefully
Thanks
not.
for watching. If you like what you saw, you can find us on Spotify, YouTube. We're on TikTok. We got an Instagram, all at Chain Driven, or the Chain Driven Pod. Also, we didn't start uploading it a little bit more on TikTok, Instagram, and we're making it work. We'll get there one day. But thanks for listening. I'm your co-host, Kieran, and this is my co-host, Colton, and we're out.
Peace out.